Hi, all my friends. Today I want to talk about um, the desert winds. um, yeah, it can be windy sometimes out here, and for long periods. We can have days of stormy weather. So we had a couple of days of that storm and rain, and I think that was about 2 days. And then, of course, when you get a break, like today, it hasn't been raining, but it has still been windy. Okay. So I'm going to talk about how we survive that in a small space, okay? Because it's different than when you're in a house. When you're in a house, you definitely have more room to move around, and you have your windows to bring in the outdoors in. And sometimes when you have a Class C, you definitely have a bigger space, more windows, because my friend has a Class C, so I've been inside that, and it's makes a difference. But when you're in a van, sometimes you're limited in your windows or your space, and so as much as possible, we try to be outdoors or bring the outdoors in. Okay, that's going to be the trick, that, or at least I personally like to do. Okay. So I'm going to show you how me and my dogs work around when we have these really strong windy days, and how I position the van to make it easier, okay, when we have days like this. So with the dogs, Milo sometimes likes to be down here in this opening. Little cubby, little square hole here is where the batteries, though, are underneath, and again, they are sealed, so no vapors or anything can come up. There's a wood cover and carpet on top. So, but he likes to go in this little thing all the time. And when we're inside and I have the door shut, a lot of times he'll go right in that spot in there. And so I try to put something soft in there for him, and the more he gets out, then the easier it's going to be. But then the funny thing is with this little guy is when I do get him out, all he wants to do is come back and be in the van. But yet he'll hang out here like he wants to be out. But when I get him out, he's like, no, I want to be back to the van. Where Buster always wants to go for walks, and I call it walkie-walkie. So we go for walkie-walkie, and he is just a happy camper walking, and he doesn't want to come back to the van. So quite opposite. But yet Milo acts like he wants to be out. It's a little weird with these two, but anyways, so I'll put a extra a bed down here for Buster. So on these windy days, we can be inside, and but still be able to have the door open. And how I do that is I position the van, okay, so that the van blocks the wind. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I block it. I can open up my doors and not be affected by the strong winds. And I'm talking when the winds are like 25 miles or a little more than that. I'll have to check to see what it is today, but it's been really windy, stormy for a couple of days now. So it's been crazy indoor type weather. So this allows us to open up the door and still be able to, look outside and appreciate the outdoors without being affected by the wind. All right, so it really helps a lot. And then, of course, I sit on the chair there, and then see Milo just went there. So just as long as they get to look out, it really makes a difference. Now, it might help because I have a high top van, but I'm not sure. All I could do is share what's working for me. And my van is almost 9 feet tall, and at the van itself, and it's higher from the stuff that's on the roof. Okay, all right. Okay, so here's my view that I have as I sit on my chair inside the van, and I can have my cup of coffee and just enjoy this beautiful view and not let the wind or the temperature bother me. Like it's 65 degrees, but then with the wind chill, of course, it's much colder than that. When the wind, actually, I checked, it was 25 and up to 30 miles per hour, so pretty strong winds. But this way, the wind just goes right up over the van, and I can sit here. We could just bundle up and still enjoy the great outdoors. Now, remember, I'm from the Northwest, so we don't let, that drizzly cold weather that we can get mostly in the spring and fall bother us. The winter, we might bunker down a little bit more, obviously. But in the spring and fall, will be drizzly, rainy, and we just still have to get out. If you don't, we won't, experience life. So I kind of take that same mindset with the wind. We just need to work around it and stay positive and find, what we can do to, still enjoy the great outdoors. Even though it is those strong winds. And that's why I wear my hats. Oh, and the one other thing I want to mention about my little Milo is he does like being on a bed outside of the van on those days that we can enjoy the great outdoors. Because again, he's close to the van. So as long as he's in that area, he's happy. But once I get him out to walk, he wants to come back and be near the van or in the van. So yeah, maybe it has to do with, if you go back to my earlier videos, he accidentally, well, he ran away. And so I think that's impression has stayed in his mind because I was lucky to get him back. And I think it's titled Milo Ran Away. So if you see that video, you'll see what I went through. And I will remember for life what he went through. So I think that just stays that impression in his mind of when he did go away from the van and he ran away. And yeah, so it was a really scary time for both of us. All right, but anyway, yeah, I keep a close eye on these guys now all the time. Well, I hope you found it interesting how we survive these windy days because people mentioned about how windy it can be out in the desert. But yeah, it's just a different lifestyle, a different kind of terrain and everything. It's different than the Northwest. We have our own different climate, okay? And I mean, I visited the desert many times when I was younger and traveling and stuff like that, but haven't actually spent a long amount of time in the desert. So this has been really an exciting and new experience, and I'm just enjoying it because I really have hardly lived anywhere other than the suburb cities of LA and Oregon, the Pacific Northwest. So I just think that this is just an amazing experience, and I'm just enjoying it, and the beauty and the sunsets, and and a couple days of wind, and then it's not windy again, and then it's back and forth, and just it's okay. I think it is how you think of it in your mind. If you think exciting and positive, and then you're going to look at the beauty and the positive, and you'll work around the obstacles of things in life. And they're really not even obstacles to me, they're just more experiences. Okay, so I hope this is helpful for those that might be wondering what it's like. Okay, All right, so see, Milo is very content. He wanted to be held. So I'm holding him as he's, again, wanting to look outside. But he loves to be in the van and now in my arms. All right, so I love you all, and I hope you found this video helpful. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.